All right, so a little bit to do today. We're going to change gears because the way our labs are scheduled. We're going to have lab first every week. So the next lab we're going to do is our Unix lab. I don't spend much time on it at all, but doing something that is not Windows-based or Mac-based for you folks who have Macs is part of our accreditation process. So when we look at our degrees and the things we offer, one of the things they look at is, have we shown you how to use more than one operating system? And the college has a Unix server, which is all text-based or terminal on Mac or command line in Windows land that we can connect to and actually run Python programs, which is fun because Python is cross-platform. It doesn't only run on one operating system. So I wanted to show you what we do for that first, before you go do it in lab, because it's a little terrible. And then you'll enjoy the experience. Instead, you've done it before. We use the most terrible editor out there called VI, and then you'll understand the jokes about it. So to do that, we do a couple things. So I use Terminal. It's pretty easy. You can also use a tool called Putty that's installed on the college computers if you want to do that. From your Macs, you can just use your terminal because we use SSH. I think that's working here now. Yeah, so I've got SSH. So we're going to connect to login.umd.umich.edu. And then yes, we accept it. Yes. Oh, okay, hang on, I got to use my username. -L. There's like different commands here. Dash. What do I need for my user? B, C, D, E. So when you do things at the command line, it's all just, you just type text in, which we're familiar with running from our first Python programs, right? It asks for prompts, so we just type stuff in. So very similar environment to that, but we're going to do everything from here, which is a little weird. Is it J? That's user. J, Charles. That might be it. Nope. Goodness, it's not it. Oh, L, login name, -L. There we go. So this is the -L for login name. So when you do stuff at the command line, you give it switches dash something. What are you trying to tell it to do here? So -L for my username. Now it'll ask for my password, and this should work. And the weird thing in SSH, you don't see yourself type when you type passwords. You don't even get like blanks, like the little dots like you usually get when you type into a web browser for password fields. It just looks like nothing's happening, which is super weird, but it does type like normal, which is fine. And then we can trigger our two-factor authentication from here. It's all integrated and knows how that works, which is fun. And then I should be able to get logged in. Should be able to. I thought I hit approve, didn't I? Come on. There it goes, okay. So this is your bash home screen. So this dollar or tilde sign, tilde, so that the shift accent key on the far left of your keyboard is your home drive, home directory. So where all of your folders are. So there's no folder view like we get in Windows land where you can say, hey, I want to see, here's a folder, I can see what's inside of it. All we get is stuff at the command prompt here, at the terminal here. So to see what's happening, you can type ls, which I think is short for list. I don't actually know that for sure, but pretty sure it's list. So ls will give you the list of what's there. Now we get a couple different colors, which is fun. So blue stuff are folders here. The green and white, I'm not entirely sure what the different colors mean here, but they're files, right? We see this is a .pdf, this is a .exe, this is a .py, so we've got different files here that exist. Now, I also have a couple different folders. I've done this lab exercise a lot of different times before. So to go into a folder, we don't click on it. You have to tell it, you have to give it a command to go to that folder. And for some reason, we call these things directories, not folders. We call them directories. I don't know why. So folders are directories are folders. It's the same thing. So to change the folder you're in, to change your directory, you type cd for change directory. And I want cd, CIS. And now typing, it will it didn't auto-suggest, hang on, CIS 2001 here. Usually you get a list of things here. So now I'm in this tilde CIS 2001. So this is my home folder. Inside of that folder, I'm in 2001. So you kind of see the path. This is your working directory that we're in here. So you can, it tells you just at the prompt what folder you're in, sort of that visual cue, because we don't have a folder view to see it there has to give us something. And from inside of here, you've got some other fun commands like print working directory, pwd. Please don't memorize these things. I've got a cheat sheet when we do the lab. It's the last page of the lab manual. It says here's all the different commands you can run. If you do them often enough, you remember them. I really shouldn't remember this stuff because I do it like twice a year, but for some reason it's stuck in my head, and that's fine. This is the only time I use Unix in my life, but it's okay. So my print working directory says, hey, I'm in my home directory in eCharnS CIS 2001. So this is my username, right? This is my folder that's in the list of home folders on the Unix server. Right? So the Unix server has all sorts of people's directories, which is fun. If you want to go back to your home folder, right, this root main folder here, you can say change directory, and then .. is means go up a level. Oh no, space .. sorry. CD space .. means go up a level. So now I'm back at this one here. I could try going back up from here again, and now I'm in home E, and if I ls out here, I get, here's a bunch of usernames. These are all the E's on the college Unix server. I don't know who these people are, but if I try and go into their folder here, let's just pick someone here. So we'll cd into this folder here, and ls it says permission denied. So Unix has a really interesting file permission system where at different levels you can see certain things. So at the level of the E folder, I can see what's there. Beyond that, I don't have access, right? So I can see the folder exists, but I don't have permission to see what's inside of that folder, right? So that's all. So I can go back and then I'll go to mine, or I can cd and I can just do my tilde character will take me back to my folder. That's the tilde is like the shortcut for this is where it is. And all sorts of silly shortcut things, but I'm going to go back to CIS 2001. And now inside of here, I've got some files. Sure, that's fine. I'll make another folder here. So let's do, so if I want to make a direct, yeah.
I'm sorry, just to make sure, do you need to know all of these coming by heart?
No, please don't. No. No, don't memorize any of them. The interesting ones we've got on a sheet. If you spend a lot of time in Unix land, you can start learning them if you want to, just to save you some time. You know, like anything, the more often you do it, the more you remember it. So depending on the environments you work on, sometimes it's nice to have these big beefy servers that are not your laptop that you connect to run really process-intensive things. A lot of times you talk about cloud computing, we use cloud resources to go and compute stuff for us because our laptops don't have the power for it. So one of the methods you can use to connect to them is terminal-based here, right? Not everything has a graphical interface. Just depends on what we're doing or what we're connecting to or what you're paying for. So yeah, if you go and do it, great. If not, it's no big deal here. So inside this folder, I'm going to make another one here. So to make a folder or make a directory, it's md, and we'll just call this one lab demo here. No, mkdir, make directory. That's right, lab demo. Sometimes I remember the command, sometimes I don't. Now when I do my ls, I see there's a lab demo directory here, again in blue. So I can change directories into lab demo. And when I do an ls, there's nothing here. It's empty.
What is the ls?
List. List, yeah. Tell me what's in here. Like print out list what's here. And then list also has some interesting switches. You can ls -- help. If you want to know all the different things you can do, you can give it all these different commands here. So list will do, you can get all, you can get, yeah, lots of fun things here. So A is a pretty common one for all, and then is it, I think it's S is another common one. What's that one? That's size. So ls-a, nothing here, right? ls- and then a s for size. There's no size here. ls-as. So I can see like the size of my files. I don't know. Lots of different commands you can do. Just depends what you're looking for. So back in the lab demo folder, there's nothing here right now. So if I want to make a file, I can use the lovely VI editor. This is the one everyone jokes about being super awful, and it is, and that's okay. So I'm going to say VI. Now I'm in VI or Vim. This is VI improved, the improved version of it here. This is the editor everyone hates. Some people swear by this and they love it, and I think they're insane, and that's fine. It's okay. If you like this, go for it. If you get used to using it, it is a super powerful tool for text editing. You can do tons of amazing things with it very quickly, very easily, without ever touching a mouse, because like there's nothing even to click on, right? It's all text editor. So there's one guy online on Twitch, I forget his handle, I'd have to look him up. He uses VI for everything, and he types like 200 words a minute, and he's just ridiculous. But that's what he does, right? And he's good at it. So you can do fun things. So when you start VI, there are two modes to VI. There's insert mode, which is when you want to type, and then there's command mode when you want to tell it to do something, like save your file or quit. And that's why VI is so difficult to use, because to quit, you have to give it a very specific text-based command. There is no quit button, right? There's nothing in here I can click to quit. To quit, you have to type :Q, and that will quit VI. That's the joke. This is the hardest thing to quit, is :Q to actually quit out of VI here. As I start typing here, I'm in insert mode now here. I can start typing anything I want. So I can say, hey, print hello from VI in Unix. So I'm going to just type out my own Python script here without an IDE, just as a text editor. It's not great. Now, to get out of insert mode and back to command mode so I can save my file and quit VI, I have to hit escape. When you hit escape, the insert mode goes away. Please don't memorize it. This is silly. Now I can give it commands. So if I want to quit, I say :Q to quit here, and it says, uh-oh, no write since last change. I just made a brand new file. I haven't saved it anywhere. So it's warning me you probably don't want to quit because you're going to lose it. That's the warning here. So what I really want is :S for saving. It says, uh-oh, that wasn't it. Oh goodness, I'm back in insert mode again. Hang on. Escape, : oh no, I'm sorry. It's W for write. And this, I do it like twice a year. So :W is the command for write here. And then it says, oh, I didn't give it a file name. So :W, and let's call this test.py. So now it says, okay, it wrote a file called test.py. It wrote one line, 31 columns. Right? We typed 31 characters worth of text here. It wrote the file. Now I can give it :Q for quit, or I'm sorry, :Q for quit, and it quits VI. Now if I do my ls for list, I see there's a test.py file. I created my very first Python file in VI or Vim on Unix. Super exciting. Now let's run it. So to run it, right, you remember you'd say Python. Python is the executable program that will go and interpret a Python file. We looked at this briefly doing it in Windows land, or if you look at using PyCharm, the first line is, hey, Python in the name of your file. So it's doing this for us here. But we can do it by hand. We can say Python exe, and then I think actually we can skip that. Let's try it, test.py. Yep, so if you just say Python, it will go and find the Python executable. It's installed on the Unix server here, and you tell it what Python file to run. And then the things we told our Python file to do, like print, show up on the screen, and then it's done running. Super exciting. So if I want to edit the file, I say, hey, vi test.py. It will open my file for editing. Now, it opens in command mode. So to get into insert mode, there's some letter I have to type. I forget what it is. Now, notice my cursor is like all the way over here. So if I start typing, it's going to be in the wrong spot. I got to like arrow all the way over here. Or there's specific commands you can give it in command mode to go up and down and navigate around. The idea is VI was built, so VI or Vim shortcuts, so that you can keep your hands on the home row of the keyboard. So you're most fast at typing when your hands are on ASDF and JKL : right? That's where our hands belong. Yeah?
Oh, sorry, but when will we use this?
Never.
Oh.
Please don't use this. If you'd like to, you're welcome to use it. And I'll show you after we do that the hard way, I'll show you the easy way. We can actually move files directly without having to write them in Unix. So there's a method for transferring files to the Unix server. Then we can go and run them. So we might run files on the Unix server. So we might want to have to call the Python command and tell it, hey, run this file that's in my directory here. That's useful if you want to run stuff there. Writing Python code in Vim, it's awful. Please don't do it. Right? I would never recommend you don't use an IDE.
So what do you mean by anything?
I'm sorry?
What do you mean by anything?
Mean by
Like you said, writing Python code in something.
Vim or VI? That's the terrible text editor that you have to hit escape to get into command mode and :W for. It's crazy. So in command mode, your J and K keys will move the cursor up and down for you, because J and K are the keys on the home row here. You can jump around with other commands here. So like W will move the cursor a word. Capital W will move the cursor forward a word, stopping at white spaces. It's crazy. The caret key will move it to the first non-empty character of the line. The $ will move it to the end of the line. So I can jump to the end, I can jump to the beginning. Like there's all sorts of fun keyboard shortcuts you can use in VI to navigate without using a mouse. And people who spend a lot of time using this tool for text editing love it because they don't have to pick up their hands off the keyboard. And they're like, look at me, I don't have to use a mouse, I'm better than you are. And sure, they probably are faster, actually. This is super fast. You can do really cool things. You could go backwards a word. You could go backwards 5 words, like 5B. G goes to the end of the line, GG goes to the beginning of the file, end of the file. You can use sentence navigation, paragraph navigation, section navigation with braces. I don't know who invented this stuff. They're insane, but you have all sorts of crazy things. You can insert text after the cursor at the end of the, like you can jump right to specific locations. You can delete a character with the X key in command mode. You can delete a word for deep. So as a text editor, it's a very powerful text editor. And this is why people really like it, because if you know what you're doing, you can edit things very quickly. That's all. So back in VI here. So if I wanted to jump to the beginning of the file, right? So if I go back to command mode, right? G or GG, different locations. If I'm at the start of my file here and I want to go to the end, right? $sign takes me to the end of my location here, right? At the end of the file, the key takes me to the beginning. You can see the cursor jumps. I don't know, it's crazy. Like J and K, right, will take down lines, add in more white space. I'm in still in command mode. So if I want to go back to insert mode, I think A, is that A got me into insert mode. Insert mode. Switch to insert mode. Pipe? That's weird. I don't know. A did it for me, but switching between the two is a very weird way for text editing. Right. We only make you do this again to say, hey, we've checked out the box for Unix. It's a fun experience to say you've done it before, but that's sort of the exciting thing here. So when I'm done, right, I want not in insert mode, so I have to escape out back to this. I'm going to write my file. Right, I've changed my file. Now there's 2 lines here, and then I can quit. If you want to see the contents of a file without having to go into Vim, you got a fun command called cat. I don't know why. Someone came up with it here. So cat will show you the contents of the screen, of a file here in the main view without having to open an editor. So it's just showing you, displaying here. So you can see the contents here. And that's essentially what we're going to do for labs. So we're going to get logged into the Unix server, we're going to write a Python file, we're going to run the Python file, and then you can move files around as well. So if I want to move this file, we've got commands like mv for move, or rename is RM, I think, something like that. There's a bunch of different commands. I have to go look them up because I don't remember all of them here. But if I wanted to change the name of the file or move the file, right, I can move test.py into, or maybe we'll call it test2.py. And now I have test2.py. So moving, you can also rename things. You can move it different folders if I wanted. So if I wanted to have another folder here, I could make a directory. We'll call this test here. And now I have a file test2.py and I have a test directory. So I could move my test2.py file into the test folder, test2.py file. And now there's nothing in this folder aside from that directory, so I can go into the test directory, and I have the test2.py file from here. And again, if you want, you can run your Python test2 here. Just honestly to say we've done it, which feels a little silly to do. But being able to run stuff on Unix is really cool. I don't recommend you edit stuff in Unix, that's the big pain. But the other fun thing we can do now is you can use a tool called WinSCP for Windows Land. I forget what the tool is. There's one for Mac you can use as well that lets you connect with a visual tool, because Windows uses visual things, to transfer files back and forth. So I can log into login.umd.umich.edu with this tool here. And now what I can do is I can take files I've created and I can just drag and drop them into my Unix server. So let's log in here. Come on, here's my prompt. Maybe. Come on. Really? All right, it's just sitting here. Still waiting. Maybe I typed it wrong. No, login UMD umich.edu. I got to the duo prompt, right? We'll just abort. Hang on. Okay. Let me try that one more time. Login UMD umich.edu CHARNES. Login, continue, password. Duo prompt. Come on. Should work. I might have typed something wrong. Okay, we'll board again. Try that one more time. Let me try login again. Continue. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna do a. I can't do a password either. I do a SMS. Okay. 649. Let's try that. Okay, that one works. So it might have been just something with the duo prompt wasn't going here. But you can see now this is the visual view of my home folder, right? This home eHRNS. This was my home folder. That was the tilde sign we saw in Unix land. And I can take anything from my computer and I can drag and drop it over. So if I go into GitHub, not the OneDrive documents, we want up to regular documents here. GitHub, CIS 2001. I can go into like our Hello World project here and I can drag and drop main PY into here, or I can make folders with, I can right click and say, hey, I want to make a new folder. I've got visual options here, like the things we're sort of used to. So if you want to develop a Python program on your computer, then you can just transfer it over. This is just doing file transfer here. We can move it over to the Unix server, and this is just main PY. So if I go up a couple directories here, or CD my home drive here, I now have a main PY. Okay. So I can say Python run main.py. Oops, and oh, do we not have, we don't have Python 3? Really? Is this Python 2? That's verbose v-v, Python dash capital V. Wow, this is Python 2. Okay, so some of the stuff we did with the specifying types, the type hints, is new to Python 3, which is not even new here, but it's not supported in Python 2. That's super weird. Wow, I really thought we, okay. So that might be a problem, depending on what we're doing here. I thought we had Python 3. I can check. We're not going to do anything on Unix aside from running our little hello scripts. If you do want to take advantage of that, let me know. I can see, really thought I had a different Python installed. xe-v? No, I didn't even find it here. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. I wonder if it's installed somewhere else. OS. Bin Python. Okay, so there's Python 2. Python's listed right there. Oh, I spelled Python wrong. CD P-H-O-N. T-H-O-N. Python 2. Okay, yeah, that's Python 2. So, oh yeah, that's the Python executable. Yeah, they don't have the newest version installed. I'm sorry. That's weird. So these are all the programs that are installed on this server here. This is what's in the bin directory here. These are programs, binary things you can run. That's fun. Okay. Well, that didn't go as well as I thought. But you could, theoretically, drag and drop your files over and run them. That was the whole exercise there. So that's what we're going to be doing in lab Tuesday afternoon. Then when we come back, we can switch back gears and go back to doing our classes stuff that we're going to be picking up here, right? That was all the chapter 2 stuff, object-oriented programming. So from here, we'll take a deeper dive into inheritance specifically. The book makes tons of use of inheritance. So that'll be our topic for our deep dive here. And the first project we work on, we should be able to talk about on Tuesday, get started on it here. Again, we'll have 2 weeks for each project like we did last time. So we can start doing our project for inheritance. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah.
When will the quiz?
So once there's no quiz for chapter 1. So once we finish chapter 2 on Thursday next week, I'll post the quiz, and then that'll be due a week from then. So 2 weeks from today by 11:59 p.m.
How many questions are questions?
It's like 10 questions, yeah, 10 or less.
So can we do like 2 per day, something like that?
Sure, yeah, whatever you want. So it's untimed. So just open it, take it when you want. I give quizzes to encourage you to do the reading. I'll be honest. Like if you look at the quiz and you don't know the answer, that's perfectly fine. Go find the answer. It's probably in the text, or it might have been something I said, right? So the level of reading is not, you don't have to like memorize every word in the textbook either, but you probably have to do more than just read the bold words, right? Some happy medium between I've like skimmed the paragraphs and kind of know what's contained where is probably pretty good. But it's a good resource. And he's a little dense. It's a little bit tough to read sometimes. It's a very textbooky textbook. And that's why when I do the examples, I follow a different approach. The same things are happening, but I try and lay them out a little bit differently because I feel like his method's confusing.
Is it multiple choice?
Mostly true or false. Sometimes like a fill in the blank, sometimes like write a bit of code that does this, but like it's like 2 lines of code, maybe 3.
Does it correct you if you put it wrong?
So I have to manually score them if they're not true false. So it just takes me a little bit to go manually score them. So I've written more true false questions because it's faster to do that. I don't really like multiple choice, but yeah, that won't be too bad. So if you got questions about the quiz questions, just let me know because I wrote them. They don't come from a test bank. So occasionally there's typos. Yep. All right. Awesome. Yeah, so I think we don't have tons of time to get into inheritance, object-oriented programs. So we can probably call that today. And then we'll have this, if you want to watch the video for lab time, I can wander around for lab time as well and help you out. It's just a bunch of typing, having fun with VI, and then jokes about how to close VI and quit and things like that. So we should be in pretty good shape. Right, so I can log off here. And I should have showed you one other fun thing that you have here. So back in your home drive, you notice I've got a folder called public here. So if I go to my public folder, capital P, sorry, it's case sensitive. Why not? Inside of here, I have an HTML folder. Inside of here, I actually have a personal website. So there's a UMD, where is it here? There. So stuff in your public personal folder gets mapped to this public website, www-personal.umd.umich.edu, and then they tilde your username. Someone came up with this convention, but the Unix server also hosts then public websites here. So I've got, I didn't even update it here. I should have updated it in SCP. My older version of my website, I need to update this here. So HRS, nope, that's login, umd, umich.edu. And then this is only accessible on campus or with the VPN. So from home, you can connect over the VPN if you'd like to connect to the college Unix server. All right, we'll see if I can get a text message again. Because that worked last time for me. 1218634. There we go. Cool. So in my public folder here, HTML, I can go and grab my website here that I have. I can go and just drag it over here. Yes, I want to replace it. And when I give it a refresh, now I've got my latest version here for the winter semester, which is really fun. So you can host public-facing websites. The tilde is supposedly the personal character. So by convention, if there's a tilde in the website, it's like a personal website, and they've got it all mapped to personal here. So a couple people, I think Dr. Zhu has one too. Yeah, Dr. Zhu has one. A couple other people have them. They're fun. Yeah.
How do you create your own domain?
A domain?
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing to do that. I can get into it another time. So I'm fond of using GitHub to do it because they'll host websites for free. So I also have ericchinesky.github.io. GitHub will host static pages for you as well, but it's the GitHub domain. So if you want to map a custom domain like ericchinesky.com, you can go through and do that. And websites like GoDaddy are familiar with how GitHub works and these sort of mapping things. So they'll map directly for you. Like, and when you log in, you say, hey, use this one, and it does all the cool stuff for you. It's a bunch of networking things you have to do it.
Do you pay for that?
No.
Oh,
It's free. Yeah, so GitHub will give you, they only give you so much bandwidth. So only so many requests per hour or something like that will go through before they start failing, but not that many people are looking me up, I promise. So definitely, I don't hit the limits of that here. So I like these pages better anyway. So a lot of people have personal pages on GitHub pages here. So there's some quick tutorials for how you can host stuff here if you want.
Did you do that in HTML and CSS?
Yeah, so that's all in VS Code, is all my website here. So yeah, so Bootstrap is really easy. It's got some built-in things, and then it's fun because it gives you like a responsive view. So if I shrink this down, it's like, oh hey, here's the mobile view essentially, and it just does it because Bootstrap is awesome. So this is all web stuff I've done before. So other classes you can take, things you can learn about, which is lots of fun. Yep. Hey, we made it into the recording though. That's cool.